Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is July 12th, 2023, and I have a lot of crazy news for you, starting with that Real Madrid have been accused of cheating on the financial fair play rules. Also, it looks like Pablo Torre could be the key to unlocking the whole signing of Oriol Romeu. And finally, Raphinha has received a lucrative offer, and I will tell you from which club that is. We have a lot of news, so let's dive right in. Welcome, everybody, to Barca News' live stream. My name is Mo. This is a live stream that's every Monday and Wednesday at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as always, I'll do a segment of news followed by a discussion in the comment or chat section by reading your comments or questions and then answering them here live. Now, for those of you who like the shorter content, I will put timestamps in the description and I will add chapters to the timeline. That way you can skip through the whole discussion if that's not what you're here for. And if you're only looking for the news, so that will be there available for you. As always, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you are looking for any Barcelona gear, make sure to hit the kickback. The link is down below in the description. Now, let's begin with the news because there's a lot of news to cover today. Barcelona always keeps me busy and keeps me on my toes. I'm going to do 3 segments of really short news all together combined, and then we'll head to the comment section, and then we'll talk about the next big segment of news. But let's start with the 3 short ones, starting with that as announced in the community tab, which you only have access to if you're subscribed to the channel. So I do suggest you subscribe so you can have access to that community tab where I leave updates in between videos. And I announced today that Barcelona have officially announced what we already knew, which was the signing of Vitor Roque. So for those of you who still had doubts about whether Barcelona was going to sign, or for those of you who were saying, well, until the club officially announced it, I don't believe it. Well, there you go. You have your official confirmation from FC Barcelona that Vitor Roque will be signing until the 2030-2031 season. So very long contract. I think that's 7-8 years. Very long contract for what is one of the most coveted center forwards in the entire world, who's going to be coming to learn under no other than Robert Lewandowski, who's one of the best strikers of our generation, and then who will eventually become the starting center forward of Barcelona. Now, there is kind of a bit of a bad news when it comes to this announcement, because as I told you, Barcelona were working on trying to bring Vitor Roque during this summer transfer market. And it looks like things are looking very, very difficult that Vitor Roque could arrive this summer because Barcelona are not able to offload all the players that they were hoping to offload, with many players refusing to leave the club. So it's looking most likely that Vitor Roque could arrive next winter. And there's even talks about Vitor Roque could arrive in even next summer. Hopefully that's not the case, but there is an option that Vitor Roque could arrive next summer. Now, the club are still going to keep working hard on trying to bring Vitor Roque during this summer, but it is looking difficult because, again, many players are not accepting to leave. But nonetheless, the news is that Barcelona have officially announced the signing of Vitor Roque. Now, speaking of Barcelona's latest signings, I do have a little bit of bad news, and that's about Inigo Martinez. And it looks like he is feeling some discomfort in his right foot. Now, Inigo Martinez, he had already had surgery on that foot. I think it was last season. Yes, last season. And as a result, he didn't play many of the matches with Athletic Club de Bilbao because of that surgery and that injury. Then he landed in Barcelona this summer where he underwent a second surgery on the same foot, but the surgery all went well. He was able to recover. He was able to pass all the medical exams when it came to the signing of his contract of Barcelona. He passed the fitness exams on Monday at the beginning of the preseason, but during training, he is feeling discomfort. Now, this is nothing to be too concerned about. Again, he has passed medical exams on multiple occasions. His foot is fine. He's recovered, but he is feeling a little pain. He is feeling a little discomfort. So, of course, it is a small concern, but not a big one. And after all, the preseason just began. So Inigo Martinez still has the rest of the summer to fully recover, and hopefully we'll see him play in the Barcelona jersey. Now, the final kind of third bit of news that I jammed up or lumped up all together, and that's about Ter Stegen, because in yesterday's video, I announced that Barcelona had reached out to Ter Stegen to try to see if he would be willing to defer his salary, not reduce it, defer it, because Joan Laporta has said he's not going to ask any of the players to reduce their salaries, that if the players want to reduce their salaries, it's up to them. They're going to have to approach the club. So Barcelona approached Ter Stegen, who is one of the highest earners on the squad, since his contract was renewed by Bartomeu. And obviously, we all know how Bartomeu used to love giving money away. So Barcelona reached out to him, said, hey, how would you like a contract until the end of your career, which is until in 2028, when Ter Stegen will be around 36 years old. And in exchange, Ter Stegen would agree to defer his salary. Now, salary deferral is not a reduction in salary. I said that in yesterday's video, but yet there were people commenting saying, oh, Barcelona's asking their players to reduce their salary, blah, blah. No, that's not the case. A salary deferral is not a reduction. A salary deferral is saying, hey, I'll pay you half your salary now. I'll pay half later, or 60%, 70%, whatever. So Barcelona, by extending Mark Ter Stegen's contract until 2028, they would give themselves a longer period of time to pay Ter Stegen everything that they owe him. So this is not a reduction of salary. Now, I said in yesterday's video that this was just an initial contact, that Barcelona were feeling positive about Ter Stegen accepting this. And well, lo and behold, not only did Ter Stegen said, yes, I'm willing to defer my salary, but he even offered to reduce his salary. So he said, yes, this sounds good. And if needed, I'm willing to reduce my salary as well, because Ter Stegen understands the difficult financial situation of the club, and he's willing to help out as much as possible, because he is, after all, Blaugrana at heart. He's been all his career here. He loves the club. He loves the city, and he wants to help out any way possible. Now, of course, this is still initial negotiations. Things can change. But nonetheless, here's his response, which goes to show that Ter Stegen is definitely living up to his new role as a captain and a role model for the whole team. So that's the 3 bits of news. Vitor Roque officially announced Inigo Martinez is feeling some discomfort. Mark Ter Stegen is willing not only to defer his salary, but to reduce it. Let's head to the comment section. Let's get a discussion going, and then we'll talk about the big news of today, and it's Real Madrid. And it looks like they could be cheating on their financial fair play rules, which, honestly, I'm not surprised, but nonetheless, I have to give you the story. All right, let's see where you guys at. Oh, man, the comment section is exploding. I love it. I love it, guys. But what's not exploding is the like button, because I only see 26 likes. So let's hit that like button, guys. Let's get this video promoted, especially because it is about Real Madrid and their cheating. And of course, not surprised either, nobody's reporting about it. So let's hit that like button. Let's get YouTube recommending this video so more people see it and know exactly what's going on, because I highly, highly, highly doubt that any of the mainstream media outlets in Spain or in the world are going to be reporting about this next story. Okay, wow. 1 a.m. in Amsterdam. Thank you, Fibsy, for joining the channel. And that's really cool that you're watching from Amsterdam. I did not know there were any people in Amsterdam watching my channel, especially because, it's in English. I don't speak Dutch, but if I could, I would. Okay, let's see. Crispy Chicken is here on time. That's awesome. Let's see. Fibsy says if there's any news about the departure. Yes, there is. I will talk about later, so stay tuned. Jose Aguilar says, I don't like the way they are treating Kessie transfer, rejected other clubs for Barca at low wage. Look, the reality is this is a business after all. It's not a charity. And if a player does not work out, you have to get rid of him. Simple as that. So, is it ideal that Barcelona are trying to force Kessie out? No. But this is something that all clubs do around the world. Again, it's a business. If a player doesn't work out, you have to get rid of him. You can't have a player sitting around earning millions and millions of euros just because you feel bad, right? If he doesn't contribute, then he needs to go. Okay, not to say that Kessie is a bad player. He's not. I think he's a phenomenal player. He just doesn't fit, and there's a difference between being a good player versus fitting in a team. And that's something a lot of people confuse, when we say, well, he didn't work out for Barcelona. Well, he is a great player. Yeah, he is. But doesn't mean he worked out. Ibrahimovic is one of the best strikers in our generation, and yet he didn't work out Barcelona. Does that mean he sucks? No, he just didn't fit. That's all. So, it is what it is. It's a business. We have to get rid of players that don't contribute, and that's it, Okay, one more, and then we'll talk about the Real Madrid story. Tejas Kale says, with Roque coming next winter or summer, I would look at signing Auba for a short term. There's no plans to sign Auba. You know, he's old. Chelsea, has he been offloaded yet? I can't remember if he's been offloaded yet or not. But, you know, Chelsea want money for him, and Barcelona are not going to pay money for a player that's, 33, 34 years old. It just makes zero sense. Okay, so let's talk about corruption in football, because let's start with the Enriquez Negreira case, because there is an official update about the Enriquez Negreira case. And it's a little bit linked with Real Madrid, not directly, but you'll see what the link is. Okay, to recap, because I know we haven't talked about Enriquez Negreira case in a while. You know, it was discovered that Barcelona had hired Jose Maria Enriquez Negreira, who's a former referee. He retired back in the 90s. And Barcelona had hired him as an external consultant to consult the club about refereeing in La Liga. And this is nothing weird. All clubs have external consultants who are former refs that advise the clubs, you know, the respective clubs, on how certain referees rule, on what the new refereeing rules are, how they're being applied, etc. What makes it a scandal is because at the time that Jose Maria Enriquez Negreira was a consultant for Barcelona, he also happened to be the vice president of the committee of referees. So when this story broke, every media outlet and their mom in Spain, stories, headlines all around. Barcelona was cheating. Barcelona were bribing referees. Barcelona, all these trophies that they won, including the sextuple under Pep Guardiola, were all bought, etc., etc., etc. And I continued saying that there was absolutely no evidence that Barcelona were bribing referees. They had only hired Jose Maria Enriquez Negreira as a consultant. In fact, his title as vice president of the committee of referees was completely honorary title. He wasn't making any money off of it. He didn't have any power of decision, nothing. It was just an honorary title. There was no evidence of that. You know, the Spanish Treasury released a statement saying that there was no evidence that Barcelona had bribed referees. All the different sources who were close to the investigation by the Spanish prosecutor's office were saying that there was no evidence of this. And well, lo and behold, today, the judge that's overseeing the whole investigation and the whole Enriquez Negreira case has officially changed the focus of the investigation from whether Barcelona bribed referees to whether there was some kind of money laundering. Now, why has the investigation shifted focus? Because the judge, the investigators, the prosecutors, everybody and their mother, except the media in Spain, have reached to the same conclusion, which has been saying here over and over again. There's absolutely no evidence that Barcelona tried to bribe referees, that tried to influence the competition. Absolutely nothing, 0-0. So since there is no evidence of that, not only is there no evidence of bribery, there's not even evidence that Barcelona intended to bribe. So there's not even evidence of intent, let alone action itself. So since there's no evidence of that, the investigation has shifted course to investigate whether there was some kind of money laundering, because all the money that Barcelona paid to Jose Maria Enriquez Negreira is not in the Barcelona accounts. It's not in Negreira's accounts, and is not even in the accounts of his family. So where did this money go? That's the question. So that's what the focus of the investigation is now. Trying to figure out where that money went. Like I've said many times before, I really think that the whole Enriquez Negreira case was a way for Bartomeu and his band of criminals to launder and steal money from the club. And the way you could do that, you say, okay, I paid €1 million for the report, right? For Enriquez Negreira report. But in reality, you pay him 100,000, and the other 900,000, you put it in your pocket. But on the books, it looks like you are paying him for the reports, but in reality, they probably weren't fully paying him the full amounts, because as we know, the amounts that Barcelona were paying Enriquez Negreira were much, much higher than what the market value is. Now, I don't know how much a report costs, but again, let's say a report costs 100,000, Barcelona were paying, $500,000, right? So this is a good way to steal money from the club, because on the books, it shows that you're paying $500,000, but in reality, you're only paying them 100,000, pocketing the rest. So that's when the investigation focus is shifting to see whether there was money laundering when it came to the Enriquez Negreira case. Not that Barcelona bribed any referees, because again, there's absolutely no evidence, zero evidence that Barcelona ever tried or intended to bribe any referees. But of course, guess what? There's absolutely zero media outlets reporting this story today because, again, as we've seen with the mainstream media in Spain, they don't care about the truth. All they care about is promoting Real Madrid and crapping on Barcelona. Let's talk about, I thought this was going to be a little shorter, so let's go back to the comment section, and then I'll talk about Real Madrid since, corruption, etc. Okay, where did we leave off? Isaac says, update from Cancelo. Again, Cancelo, Barcelona are only going to consider him if he agrees to reduce his salary, which so far he's not. So doesn't look like it's going to happen. Okay, Chuchu says, it's okay. Inigo wasn't ever going to start either way. He might even end up like Bellerin. No, I don't think he'll end up like Bellerin. I think Inigo is a much, much more solid player. He might not start, but I think Xavi will use him. I mean, he's been one of the top 5 defenders in La Liga for several seasons. So Inigo Martinez is, miles ahead of Hector Bellerin. Okay, Crispy Chicken says, if they are actually cheating, I hope they get destroyed royally. I hope so too, but it's not going to happen. We all know what happens. Real Madrid have a carte blanche to do whatever the hell they want. Let's see. Brad says, Tebas will do nothing. Corruption from the top makes it even better when Barca wins La Liga by double-digit points. I agree. I think, and that's why they're so mad. With all the obstacles they keep throwing at Barcelona, and Barcelona still wins La Liga, is definitely not sitting well. But, drum roll! I probably shouldn't do that. You're probably hitting the vibration of the microphone. Because let's talk about Real Madrid, because today in a huge bombshell report, the Telegraph, which is an English media outlet, it's probably one of the most reputable outlets in the world, especially when it comes to sports. They dropped a huge bombshell, and that's that they did an investigation of Real Madrid's finances. And on paper, it looks like Real Madrid are trying to hide some money in order to influence the financial fair play rules. Now, what the Telegraph found is there was 135 million euros that Real Madrid had put under the category of other payments or other expenses in their financial report for the 2021-2022 fiscal year. And out of those 135 million euros, 122 million euros are completely unaccounted for, unexplained. Nobody knows what those 122 million euros are for. What are they doing in that category? The Telegraph, in their investigation, they reached out to Real Madrid. Of course, Real Madrid refused to answer or explain that discrepancy. They also reached out to La Liga. Lo and behold, La Liga is also refusing to answer any questions or explain that discrepancy. Now, how would this affect the financial fair play rule? Well, every season, when clubs submit their finances at the end of the fiscal year, which ends on June 30th. So June 30th, clubs submit all their paperwork for the season that just ended, showing how much money they made, how much money they spent. And of course, the money they spent is subtracted from how much money they made. And that's how, the profits are calculated. And based on how much money a club made, La Liga issues the wage caps or the wage limits of how much money you're allowed to spend on salaries. Okay. So this 122 million euros, which is 20% of Real Madrid's spending, is being counted not as spending, but as profit. So that influences how much money Real Madrid technically made, which influences their wage limit. So if they're not explaining where that money come from, looks like they're lying about their numbers. And if they're lying about their numbers, then their wage limit is based on a lie. So they are actually spending more than they would be allowed to. Now, of course, this is still an investigation. This is not confirmed. No court or any governing body has said that this is true. But there are 122 million euros unaccounted for in Real Madrid's finances, which might not be illegal, but could violate UEFA's rules. Now, let's see whether UEFA actually investigates this. I highly doubt that La Liga will investigate this. I mean, I'm willing to bet my entire fortune that La Liga will investigate, or at least a serious investigation, because they can always, say, oh, hey, we're investigating it, but not really. And, of course, guess what? It's not a single media outlet, not ESPN, not Marca, not us, not any of them, not a single peep. If you go right now, maybe once the live stream ends, because I want you to pay attention. If you go after the live stream and Google Real Madrid financial fair play rules, and it's only going to be the Telegraph article and nothing else. Total silence by the mainstream media, which is absolutely mind-blowing, because for months, all these media outlets were bombarding us with Barcelona scandal, Enrique Negreira, they're cheating, this is the biggest scandal of the century, Barcelona are a dirty club. And now all these same outlets who were riding their high horses, their moral high horses, trying to teach us Barcelona people about the right from wrong and corruption and blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, poof, where are they? I have no idea. So, all right, Crispy, first donation ever. Thank you. You're amazing. He says the amount of protection Madrid get from La Liga and the media is disgusting. And they say Barca is the corrupt club. It's so annoying. 100% agree. Again, La Liga hasn't said anything. No statement, nothing. Media completely silent. Let's see if UEFA investigates. I don't know. This is where we at, guys, unfortunately. All right, let's see comment section, and then we'll talk about Oriol Romeu and Pablo Torre. I see 150 people watching, but only 53 likes. Again, people, let's hit that like button. Let's prompt YouTube to promote this video to as many people as possible, because it's media outlets like this one that are there sharing these kind of stories. Because like I said, none of the YouTubers, Madrid YouTubers, or any of the media outlets are reporting this. So let's share. Let's like that button. Hit the like button. Let's get this video circulating, because people need to hear about this crap, and they're not going to hear it from the big media outlets like ESPN or all these other outlets in Spain. Okay, where did we leave off? Let's see. Chuchu says, Eric Garcia isn't and will never work out. Okay, I agree. Well, I don't know about never. He's not working out right now, but he's still young. Let's see. City fan says, I think Manchester City. Oh, what just happened? My chat, guys, is like going crazy. Sorry, City fan, I lost your comment because this whole thing just moved on me. Anyways, Brad says Bartomeu will haunt us for years to come still, but if we can make it through this time as a club, imagine when we are able to go full speed. I agree. Unfortunately, we're still paying for all of Bartomeu's doings. Let's see what else. Sintu says, why do we care about Madrid finances? Well, I think I just made the point why. Crispy Chicken, another donation, says, can't believe I was your first donation. You deserve it. Thank you. Yes, you were my first donation ever. And second. And now Fibsy is my third ever. So thank you guys. I'm really, 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 really honored and humbled by this. I mean, the fact that you're spending your hard-earned money on me, this will never go like unappreciated, and this will forever humble me. So thank you guys. I appreciate the love. And Fibsy, he says, showing some love. Thank you again, especially because you're out in Amsterdam at 1 a.m. It's probably 2 a.m. right now. So thank you guys. You guys are freaking amazing. And you guys are the reason why I do this. So thank you, thank you. But let's get back to the news, because I do have some news about Oriol Romeu and Pablo Torre. You know, Oriol Romeu is still obviously Barcelona's choice for the pivot position, but Girona are not making it easy. Girona still feel offended, disrespected that Barcelona are trying to take away their most important player. I don't know why. People, this is football. This is how things work. So they're not making it easy. They're not willing to negotiate with Barcelona. Their stance is if Barcelona want Romeu, then they need to pay his release clause, which is 8 million euros. Still pretty affordable, but nonetheless, Barcelona don't want to pay the 8 million euros. They want to try to negotiate down to 4, especially because, you know, Romeu is 31 years old, so it doesn't make sense to pay that much money for an older player who's only going to come maybe for 2 seasons. But the key to this whole operation could be Pablo Torre. Now, Pablo Torre, Barcelona are still planning to loan him out next season. or the upcoming season. Not because of the financial situation, not because of the financial fair play rules, but Barcelona want Pablo Torre to accumulate more minutes so he can continue growing, he can continue developing, because Barcelona believe in Pablo Torre. They think he's a talented player, but he obviously needs to develop his skills, right? And that's not going to happen sitting on the bench. So they want him to go on loan so he can hopefully play that full season, hopefully every match, 90 minutes of every match, so he can then come back to Barcelona ready to play on the first team. And there are plenty of teams who are interested in taking Pablo Torre on loan, including Villarreal, Valencia, and as of yesterday, Girona. Girona just joined the race, kind of, if you may, for Pablo Torre. I wouldn't necessarily say a race because he's not going to be offloaded. He's only going to be loaned. No obligation or option to buy. So this is only for him to go get more minutes and then come back to the club. Now, since Girona are interested in Pablo Torre, Barcelona think that he could be the key to unlocking the signing of Oriol Romeu. And this would not be a swap deal because Girona want cash for Romeu. This would be two parallel operations. But how would he be the key to unlocking it? Well, then Barcelona could be like, okay, if you guys could tell Girona, if you guys want Pablo Torre, I'm going to make it really easy. Here's Pablo Torre. But how about you also, make it easy for me to sign Romeu? So that's how Pablo Torre could be the key to unlocking all of this. Girona are very much interested. And Barcelona could use this to their advantage to sign Oriol Romeu. Now, I think Pablo Torre loan to Girona would be good, and that's because Girona play very similarly to Barcelona. They also have an excellent coach right now with Mitchell. So I think under Mitchell, under the Girona system, I think Pablo Torre could learn a lot, could develop a lot, and then come back having developed his skills enough to earn his spot on the first team. Because right now, yes, he's talented, but he's not there yet where he could be, where he could have his spot on the first team. He's not there yet. He still needs to develop. So hopefully with Girona, that's exactly what's going to happen. All right, so let's get back to the comment section, and then we'll talk about the offer for Raphinha. And there's also a little bit of news about Ferran Torres. So I'll put them together, and then we'll keep on going. Okay, let's see. Chuchu says Pablo Torre needs to go on loan. He's going to be a monster. I agree. So I think the loan to Girona would be great. Victor Pitan says Romeu is not special. He's not even close to being better than Zambrano. Okay. First of all, we cannot compare. Oscar Zambrano plays in Ecuador. Romeu has played in La Liga in the Premier League. So to say that he's not better is just not true. Romeu was in the Barcelona Academy like I think 10, 15 years. He knows the Barcelona style of play. He's played in the Premier League. He's played in the Liga. He's a player with a lot of experience, knows how to be a pivot for Barcelona. There's no way you can compare him with a 19-year-old kid who's only played in Ecuador. There's just apples and oranges. Second of all, like I've said many, many times, you cannot bring a young player and expect him to start on day one. That's just unrealistic. Completely. Like, get that out of you guys' mind. I get this comment a lot, so I guess I'll address it. A lot of people, live stream or videos, they'll say, oh, well, we should, have Lamine Yamal start as a right winger or bring Fabricio Diaz to replace Busquets. Guys, this is not FIFA career mode. This is real life. You cannot expect young players from the academy or from lower divisions to come and be a starter day one, play 90 minutes. That's unrealistic. Not going to happen. It's never happened. Even Messi did not come to Barcelona and start on his first day. Messi had to work his way up through the different categories of La Masia. Then he got called up to the first team. And even when he got called up, he didn't start. He was on the bench. There were many matches where he was on the bench and didn't play. Then he got called. Then he would be brought on by a few minutes, then more. And eventually he became a starter playing 90 minutes. And then eventually became the best player, not only in the history of the club, but in the history of the sport. So even the best player in the history of the sport had to work his way up and get eased into the first team. So why do you think any other average player is going to be able to start on day one? That's just unrealistic. When players come from other divisions, whether it's lower divisions in Spain or divisions from other countries, it's a huge, big jump in skill. They might be the best player of their division, But when they make it to the first division, all of a sudden it's a huge jump of skill. Football's being played a lot faster, more physical, more technical. They have to adapt to that. Not only do they have to adapt to that, they have to develop their skills to be able to compete at that level, and that takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. Even Messi wasn't born ready to compete at the highest level. He had to work on developing his skills since he was 5 until he was 17 or 18 years old. So he had to work really hard for 11, 12 years to develop his skills to make him competitive at the highest level. This doesn't happen overnight. And it's like anything else in life. You know, if you bench 150 pounds today, doesn't mean you can go to the gym tomorrow and try to bench 300 pounds. You're going to kill yourself, right? Maybe you do 155, then 160, etc. And then with time, as you get bigger and stronger, you'll be able to get to the 300 pound. This is the same thing. So get it out of your mind, guys, that we're going to be able to have Lamine Yamal start in the right wing tomorrow, or that we can bring Zambrano or Diaz and start in the pivot position. That's just unrealistic. Anyways, let's get back to the news because I got a little bit off track. Let's talk about Raphinha because there is an offer for Raphinha. He has received an offer by, you can guess it because they're offering everybody contracts, and it's the Saudi Pro League. The Saudi Pro League has made an offer to Raphinha. They want to take him away to Saudi, but I honestly don't think much of this news, but I still have to bring it to you. It's my duty because, you know, Xavi Hernandez wants to keep Raphinha. Raphinha has said multiple times he wants to stay in Barcelona. So I don't see him leaving to Saudi, especially because Raphinha is 26. He's in his prime. And going to Saudi would be, you know, throwing away his career. I might not think he's the best fit for Barcelona, but Raphinha is still a quality player. And going to Saudi Arabia would be just a waste of talent. So I don't see it happening, but nonetheless, that's the news. Raphinha has received an offer from Saudi League. It's not surprising. They're offering everybody and their mother a contract. So if anybody from the Saudi Pro League is watching this live stream, if you guys want to offer me a contract, you know, I would love it. I'm not good. Can't offer you much as far as skills, but, you know, if you want to throw me a contract, I'll take it. Anyways, let's talk about Ferran Torres real quick, and then we'll wrap it up because that's it, all the news. And it seems that Xavi is really, really pushing the club to get Ferran Torres out. For Xavi, it's the number one priority to offload Ferran Torres when it comes to the attacking line, because Xavi Hernandez really prioritizes Abde over Ferran. So Xavi wants Abde over Ferran, so he's really pushing the club to get rid of Ferran Torres. Of course, this is going to be difficult because Ferran is insisting that he can succeed at the club, that he can make it at the club. I don't know who told him that. He's been at the club for a season and a half. He hasn't done it, but maybe it's his mom. You know, our moms always lie to us and tell us we're great. So maybe it's his mom telling him that he'll be good at Barca. But that's the news. Xavi Hernandez really prioritizing Abde over Ferran Torres. And Ferran Torres, for now, he wants to stay. So I think this is going to be a long drama. It might even extend all the way to the end of the summer transfer market. We'll see. Hopefully not. Hopefully Barcelona can send Ferran Torres on loan. And I say this because that's the best solution right now. Because in order to offload Ferran Torres, we would have to get at least 40 million euros for him. Otherwise, the club would incur losses. If the club incur losses, then the financial fair play rules restriction get affected, lowering the wage limit for Barcelona. So Barcelona cannot incur losses. So they would have to sell him for 40 million euros. I don't see anyone stupid enough to pay 40 million euros for Ferran. Who knows? So I think the best solution would be to send him on loan, get that salary off the books for the next season, and then hopefully while on loan, Ferran Torres can prove himself, not to Barcelona, but to other teams, and maybe someone will come and pay, you know, much more than what clubs will be willing to pay right now. Because right now, clubs are not going to be willing to pay that much because Ferran Torres just had a horrible season. But nonetheless, that's all the news, guys. We still have a few more minutes, so let's do comments. And don't forget to hit that like button. Again, we got to get this video viral, get everybody to watch it, because, like I said, nobody's reporting about the fact that the judge has said that there's no evidence that Barcelona bribed referees, and there's definitely no one reporting about the fact that Real Madrid could be cheating on the financial fair play rules. Okay. Let's see. Where did we leave off? Ross says, like the video, everyone. I heard Thiago Alcantara coming our way. It's a no from me. I haven't heard that, and I don't see why Barcelona would want to sign him. I think the only Thiago Barcelona would be interested in would be Messi's son. But he still has a few more years. Lucas says Barca should give Dest another chance. No, they should not. Dest has been at the club for a very long time, and he has failed to impress time and time again. He's failed to impress at AC Milan. He's failing to impress with the US team. He's failing to impress everywhere he goes. So no, we should not give him another season. Let's see. Victor says, apart from the dirty play or pressing, how is he better? I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Fibsy says a loan deal involving Torre and Romeu might be an option. I don't know if Girona would want. You're talking about Pablo Torres. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Ferran Torres. So yeah, like I said, the fact that Girona are interested in Pablo Torre could be used by Barcelona to ease the relationship and try to get Girona to ease up on the signing of Romeu. Chuchu says left for more, he would sell Raphinha. I would. But for a lot of money. It would have to be like 90, 100 million euros. I think the club would benefit from that. But not the Saudi. I don't think, I might not like Raphinha for Barcelona, but I think it would be horrible to see him, throw away his career and play in Saudi. I think Raphinha still has a lot to offer. And, going to a retirement league is just not. But according to Penaldo fans, all these players are going to Saudi because of Ronaldo, not because of the money. These people, man. What can I say? All right, Brad says Ferran has better movement, but the guy can hit the side of a barn and isn't a threat. I agree. He does. I used to defend Ferran a lot. I still don't think he's a bad player. I think he's an intelligent player. He's really good without the ball. Like, his movement is amazing. His position is amazing. The way he sees the field, the way he reads plays, he's really good. But once he gets the ball, he just completely chokes. And then, I kept giving him chances because I truly believe giving people chances. But a season and a half later, and he's still not improving. So it's time. And that's another thing, about Oriol Romeu. The guy hasn't even signed for Barca. Barcelona fans are already oh, he sucks. Blah, blah, blah. It's at least give the guy time. At least watch him play before you can say whether he sucks or not. But anyways. Let's see. We'll do 2 more comments, and then we'll wrap it up because we're almost at 40 minutes. Chuchu says Ferran has never been that good. So watch him with Valencia. He was really good. I didn't watch him with Manchester City because I don't watch a lot of Premier League, just because time constrictions really between watching La Liga and life doesn't give me time to watch another league. But with Valencia, he was really good. And even with Barcelona, like I said, without the ball, if you watch him, he's really good. It's as soon as he gets the ball where he's like, all right, what the hell happened? And, players have to be good with and without the ball. Isaac, who's late? What's up, Isaac? It's okay, man. You can always watch the replay. Like I said, I'll have timestamps, and you can go back through the news if you want to skip the discussion. Dark Knight says Ferran is a joke. Even the Saudi Arabia League is not even looking at him. Actually, there was interest from Saudi in Ferran, but he's 21, 20-something. He'd be way too young to go to Saudi, but I don't say he's a joke. He's a good player, just not good enough for Barcelona. That's all. Okay, let's see. Last one, guys. Let's see. George says Des could be better on the right wing than Raphinha. So I agree that Des does offer a lot as far as attack. He's someone who's really good at dribbling. He's very fast. He has really good movement with the ball. But defensively, he just makes horrendous mistakes. And, when you're on defense, you just cannot afford those mistakes. Now, as far as him being an attacking winger, I don't know, because he's always played as a right back. But I would say his dribbling is better than Raphinha's. But that's not to say much, because Raphinha cannot dribble, But anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, for your likes, for your comments, for your donations. First live stream ever with donations. July 12th, 2023. I will forever remember this date. Thank you guys a million times. Thank you. Don't forget to hit that like button. Let the world hear about the Madrid scandal, because nobody else is going to report it. And I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. Hopefully, good news. We'll have to wait and see. Peace, Barca.